Hi friends, how you doing? Here we are on the Outreach 8. That means we've had 8 really rad episodes come and go, and today is going to be a very special one. I want to thank everybody who's viewing. It's kind of a really unique audience that we've created here of people who just enjoy surf movies and talking surf and kind of what the heart and soul of surf is about, at least to me. So I couldn't be more thankful to be here. Definitely never thought I'd be a host, but I'm in my room and I got a handy cam and we're live streaming. We figured out how to do it. It's been going pretty well so far. There's been the odd hiccups. If you remember the first couple days, we completely had meltdowns. We had yesterday, which was a funny one. The stream got taken down mid-conversation with Shane Dorian. We still don't know why that happened, but that's okay, because on the Outreach, it's a live experiment. So that's what's fun. Today's intro music was by Hobo Dave, a good friend who lives up in the woods in Washington. Dave, if you're watching, I hope you are. Thank you, brother. The new album is insane, and I love cassettes. So that was really fun to tune in and listen to that. Without further ado, let's talk about what's going to happen today on the show. So, yesterday, I called Damien Hobgood, I'm sorry. I thought it would be a really fun thing. I have been really good friends with Damien and CJ for quite a while. They were basically the most tangible mentors for Patrick and I when we were traveling on the WCT together. You know, we kind of came on, we didn't really have much idea of what was happening, how the waves were, what we should do. It's like you're in the major leagues for the first time, and I'll never forget that these two guys went above and beyond to say, hey, whatever you need, like any advice. They were down there watching our heats, so the bond was super strong back then, and I always love calling Damien. Always, without a doubt, like you will get some gold out of the conversation. He's just one of those guys. The way he talks, the way he is, he's electrifying. So today, well, I reached out to him yesterday, and he said, hey, do you have a copy of Secret Machine? Which I didn't have a hard copy. So then I went into the underground, and Grant Ellis had a copy waiting for me over at his house. So I just drove over, picked it up. So thank you, Grant. I hope you're tuning in too. We appreciate it. So then I watched it about 3 times this morning because I was just so excited I had the copy again. And this basically highlights one of the I don't know how many there is, maybe 4 or 5 Globe surf films. I want to say Somewhere, Anywhere, Everywhere, Secret Machine, Year Zero, Strange Rumblings, and now they're into the Cult of Freedom. I might be missing 1 or 2 there, but Joe G essentially is incredibly creative. I almost think it's a Wes Anderson style thing. He makes original, unique surf movies. That's why I had to watch it a couple times this morning, because it's way more than a surf movie. Be it the surfing is phenomenal, there is so much creative depth within these movies, so I'm super excited that we're getting to share it. Also, got in touch with Joe G, which is so cool. This project is just working out like this. And he said that he was super inspired by Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind when he was editing this. So right there, you're going to go, okay, that's a deep cut for a surf edit. Like, you probably wouldn't have assumed that, but when you watch it, you'll see that there is a lot of takeaways on that. And hopefully we can kind of have Joe come on the show one day, talk out any of the other movies. We're stoked. We would love to have that inside knowledge. I had a lot of people reach out about this movie, and actually all the other Globe movies too. There's a massive fan club on this. So thank you guys. I'm gonna stop just talking solo here, because that's no fun. We're gonna call Damo, which this is so cool. Damo's on Android. He was saying, gotta hit me on that WhatsApp, brother. So here we go. We'll see if he picks up. Hopefully he does. I talked to him this morning. He was fired up. He talked to CJ. Want to get the down low on that movie. Say what?
Dude, that's what we're looking at. Wow.
No. See, I wanted to show you my room, actually, to just let you know where I'm broadcasting from.
Dude, I thought you were broadcasting from like the attic window or something.
No, I got us a tripod, Demo, so we're good here. So you're gonna see me.
I'm trying to pull in the website right here.
Are you going?
Like,
whoa. Wait, are you going live too?
That's what I was pulling up. Oh, can I see that? What?
Hey, dude, you might be able to see it. Demo, can you actually is there any way to tilt your camera?
Wait, your cheeks look so red.
You've been wearing sunscreen, brother, or what?
Dude, I haven't. Because I heard, like, the sun's good for you, so I just been baking in the backyard.
Just solar panel Damien Hobgood, huh?
Yeah, just got the Crisco out and just letting it rip.
Just what? Suntan? Hey,
Dude, I'm gonna come out of this quarantine looking like the most tannest person ever. People are gonna be tripping. They're gonna be like, everyone's coming out all pasty. I'm coming out just like tanned up. So that's kind of the little theory I got behind this.
yeah, I love it. Where were you on lockdown there, Damo? Was it in the Bahamas? You were like, yes, sir.
Whoa, yeah. Dude, I can make up anything, really. Like, dude, I was on some island. I got stranded. Really, like, I'm in my son's room right now. It's the most quietest place.
I love it. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking this call, Damo. I honestly can't wait to talk about, not if it's okay, I want to talk about Secret Machine and all the Globe movies, but also have a couple questions for you. I don't know, we were talking big wave stuff. I've had a lot of people hit me up for some inside info from you, if that's okay.
Dude, I just stoked that people want to still call and still asking questions, right?
Dude, I always got to get the download from you, though. You got the insight.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I always enjoy talking to you, Tanner, so thanks for calling me up.
Of course, man. Hey, so let's just rip the seal off and get right into Secret Machine, because that is... It honestly, I had to rewatch it a couple times. You have a couple iconic sessions in that movie.
Sorry about that. Oh, well, thanks. It was, personally, that was one of my probably, I don't know, most enjoyable. I felt like I was super hands-on on a lot of it, and I don't know, it seems like it's the one that people like to talk about most.
I texted Joe G today, and he said that through this movie, he realized that he had to listen to you for calls on where to get waves. I guess he said apparently you had, at some point in the movie, made a rogue call to get good waves, and you guys absolutely scored. I don't know if you remember what that would have been.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of... Sometimes you don't want to, like, speak up too much, just because it's not your place, maybe. But then it kind of like, through making these projects, I would kind of make some calls, and I'd kind of realize, and Joe even helped me, and he'd be like, dude, you got some really good insight. We want you to keep helping us make these calls. So that kind of gave me the confidence, and a little kitty cat trying to jump in the way. So then I got some confidence, and so then I kind of really took it to just going, wow, this is kind of one of my roles in these projects. And yeah, so I kind of just took it upon myself to be like, obviously a couple of the scenes in that movie. Well, one of the ones that was funny is that France section. When we're at the wedge, that left wedge.
Oh yeah, yep.
So we were over there kind of filming in France a little bit, and the idea was like, okay, let's go to Morocco. Let's wait for a big swell. Let's go to Morocco and try to nail footage there. And so there's kind of a big storm coming, and we're thinking, yeah, Morocco. But in Europe in general, just the storms change so fast.
So fast.
So then I was just coming closer. I'm like, guys, dude, I don't know if Morocco's going to be the call, because at first it looked like France was just going to get all this wind and rain. I'm like, dude, it's kind of looking like maybe this might be the spot. Actually, the place we're at right now might be the spot. And then so then it came to like a couple days where we had to make the call. And then I just went with the old adage, don't leave waves to find waves. Boys, we're staying right here.
But that section, though, that's a really hard wave to surf. Like, that's not the most welcoming crew that surfs that wave, right? Are we talking the same section?
Yeah, totally. And it is like that. It's always kind of been like that. But I was at the time I was solo. I think everyone had left. It was after the France contest, so maybe there was another person with me. I think I can't even remember. But so it was really solo. And it was one of those things that, like, I don't know, no one, like, only a couple guys showed up, the Loke Dogs, and I don't even know how it really came together, but...
That section, it pairs so well that Joe did such a good job with this song, too, that Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs. I mean, that's one of those sections you could hear that song, and then you could pinpoint that out and be like, that's the Damo France wedge left section. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was I really loved that song, too. So yeah, that was pretty cool for me.
Dude, epic. When did you start working with Joe G? Was that the first movie, Secret Machine, or was it Somewhere, Anywhere, Everywhere?
Yeah, I think it was Somewhere, Anywhere, Everywhere was when we really started working. And, obviously at the time I was more of a grom, and so I just was, like, stoked to even get on the trips. And he's just such a knowledgeable person, and just how he can, like, really highlight the good parts of your surfing, and really kind of give you that confidence and really make it fun. Because, some projects can, as you know, they cannot be that fun, but, like, always working with Joe G was some of the funnest times of my career, and I really looked at those movies as, like, this kind of my escape.
Dude, I freak out on the way that he was able to... The team at that time was so diverse. With you, your brother, you had Taj, you had Yaden, you had Nathan Webster, and you enjoyed watching every single guy in those movies. You didn't have, like, a preference of, like, it's true, like you're saying, he was able to highlight what everybody would do at their best, but somehow make it, like, this collective energy.
Exactly. And, it was... I mean, he's the master. He was a master. And I mean, even a lot of the Taylor Steele movies. Not that many people know about it. As you know, Joe would never say anything, but like he helped out on a lot of those movies.
No way.
And so yeah, he had his hands in a lot of stuff. And it wasn't really till probably Secret Machine came out. So a lot of people saw wow, this guy's really good at what he's able to do.
How about for you, Damo? Where were you at on tour during the time of Secret Machine? Because I was thinking about it. You put so much effort into this specific movie. Were you able to kind of have an off year on tour to put the energy into videoing, or was that something that you kind of simultaneously were going after?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought it was a little different. I actually wished I could have devoted more time to it. Because I was always, I mean, as you know, the tour 100%. But when there was those windows that I could flip away, I did do that. It was more kind of an escape from the contest scene. And I loved always hanging out with those guys, and we really kind of spurred each other on. Whether it was doing the boat trips or just going somewhere in Australia. I remember one time we were at Bell's, and there was the big swell right after, and we just jumped on a plane and went over to this island. And I remember that beach break, the super blue beach break.
Oh yeah, that's the section that Noodles kicks the tires of that little Rugrat car.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was right after the Bell's contest, and we were just the Globe guys were like, "Hey, look, I got a plane. We can jet to this island if you want to check it out."
Hey, so what's the scoop? You were saying, because CJ was telling you some story, some inside story. Was that the section, or what was it?
Are you talking about the boat? Where the boat?
Yes, the boat.
Okay, so yeah, I was looking at it. So it's funny. I kind of looked through the video, really short, kind of was breezing through it, and it was cool. I didn't even remember how much stuff I had, or how much stuff I was going to remember. But then all of a sudden, all these really cool kind of stories started coming. And so one of the ones was, I actually wasn't on the trip, but CJ came back and I was like, "Dude, how was that trip? You guys went to Endo, so bummed I couldn't make it." And he's like, "Dude, you wouldn't believe what happened." He's like, we're leaving Padang or Padang, however you say it. There, and usually, I think Lance is that way. Lance is right. It might be the shortest distance. Remember when you leave the harbor?
Yeah, it's there? Your first stop.
Yeah, so they're like, let's just go straight there. It's the quickest. We can surf in the morning. So they're heading there, and it's the middle of the night. And CJ said he wakes up to go to the bathroom, and he said it felt like a linebacker just came out of nowhere and just absolutely just smashed him against the water cooler, like where he was getting some water. And he's like, what the heck is going on? And he like looks over the railing of the boat, and they're like, there's waves like breaking into the boat.
Oh.
And he's like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? So he runs downstairs. He tells the guys, dude, grab your passports. We might have to jump off this boat. It might go down. And so then he's like, so then he comes back up, and he's yelling at the captain. He's like, dude, what's going on? He looks back. The jet ski has fallen off the boat, and it's like and they're trying to reverse off the like dry reef, and the jet ski's getting like sucked under the boat, and all this mayhem's going down. But they finally get off the reef, and then they have this vote. So this vote's like, hey, because we're like, right by then, I guess they're like in the middle. Like, do we keep going or do we turn around? And so they're like, so there's this vote. CJ says he votes to turn around. He's like over it. He's like, dude, I want to get off this boat. I don't want anything to do with these. He said he kind of noticed these guys were just full cowboys.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so he was like, I want to go back, but he gets overruled, and the vote is to keep going. So he gets overruled. They keep going. They make it to Lance's right, and CJ's like, dude, I know something's messed up with this boat. Like, I can't even believe we made it. He grabs the snorkel or the mask. He goes underneath, and then he comes back up, and he's like, dude, the whole prop is, like, messed up, and the shaft that's, like, going into the boat is, like, loose, and it looks like the whole thing's about to fall out. And you know anything about boats, like, one of the things you really have to worry about is if that propeller shaft falls out, that's how your boat sinks. And so he's like, hey, guys, you might want to come check this out. I think this thing is going to fall out. So the cowboys get off the boat. They look at it. They're like, yeah, wow, it does look like it's going to fall out. So they try to, like, strap the thing in there.
With what? Using what?
I don't know. It was, like, some, like, big ropes that they had held the jet ski on. They held the jet ski on the back of the boat, so they used those ropes because the jet skis fell off. And they're using those ropes to try to, like, keep the propeller on. And basically they were just like, dude, if you don't call another boat, we're not going on this boat anymore. Finally, these guys called another boat, and they got on another boat and were able to finish the trip. But I don't know, it was just kind of a funny story that I was just thinking about.
I love that. That's like one of those moments, though, when you're on an Indo boat trip, you're like, this is so rad, I'm killing it, such great waves. Then you're like, dude, I am so far from anybody. Like, if this boat goes down, like, what are we going to do even?
Exactly. Like, you know, it gets real quick, right?
Dude, good thing they had a salty crew guy on the board. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And another thing I was thinking about, so I clicked it on. Do you remember the pool scene? Remember, like, there's, like, that underwater... I think it opens up the movie with, like, underwater, and it, like, flashes to us, like, underneath water. And like,
yeah, that's the intro.
Yeah, the intro. And so it's kind of like these lightning bolt lights that, like, it's supposed to, like, act like lightning.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, so we go do that scene out in Palm Desert. And the funny thing about it is, it's at Palm Desert where, you know, where Kalani and Shane and those guys are doing that Palm, what's it called?
Palm Springs Surf Club.
Yeah, Palm Springs Surf Club. So the pool that they redid and they, like, made bigger, and it's going to be epic, dude. Those guys are going to do a great job. I'm so stoked for those guys, and I can't wait to surf it.
Go back? And wait, are you talking it's the same pool?
So, dude, it's the same exact pool. But it used to produce, like, these really crappy waves. But do you remember when the winch came out? Remember when they're like, everyone's like, dude, you can winch, dude.
Oh, yeah. Santa Cruz, like, firing up the winch?
So our thing was like, we're gonna go to this pool. They're gonna slop up some waves, and we're gonna hit the winch, and we're gonna catch massive air, and we're gonna hit the lightning bolt flashlight or the lightning bolt strobes, and we're gonna get the craziest footage ever, right? So that's what the theory was. So we get there, dude. The wave is just so bad. It's not even like a wave. It's like it's just like chops. And we're trying to do the winch, and we're just like, dude, this isn't gonna work. And we're like, dang, we kind of like all got out here and did all this stuff. But we're like, okay, well, maybe we'll do some intros. Let's get out of the pool, do some flashing lights. Let's just see how this thing goes. So they start doing it, and I'm like, hey, guys, I got to go. I got to get back to Encinitas, so can I go first? You know, and I think they were even going to spend the night out there or something. So like, yeah, Damien, you go first, and you can get out of here. So I go first. I'm driving out of there, and all of a sudden I'm seeing, like, cops with their lights on, and they're driving, like, kind of sporadically, like, all these different ways. And I'm like, dude, what the heck are they doing? Like, these cops are, like, acting really weird. And then I kind of look over and I see where these guys are doing the lights at. Dude, it is shining like a mile in the air. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these cops are looking for these guys. So I call Joey. I'm like, hey, dude, like, I'm going to continue on my way home. But listen, you're probably going to have the cops show up in about like 2 to 3 minutes. And they're coming in hot. So just get ready, you know? And sure enough, I call like an hour later, and I'm like, dude, what happened? And they're like, dude, I guess our lights were so gnarly that there's an airport near there. Because I guess the lights were so gnarly that the planes couldn't land. They were getting thrown off. So the air traffic control was getting called, like, you guys got to find out who's doing lights out here and shut them down because our planes can't land.
Shut them down, boys. Better shut them down. That
was really funny that I just remembered. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
You know, it's funny because I do remember that intro because it almost doesn't look like they're underwater, but you can tell by the clothes because they're kind of floating, and then it's black, white, black, white. But that's hilarious that it happened not only in just a random pool, but like the Palm Springs Surf Club pool, which actually I think that's the Rick Kane pool. Dylan Graves was telling me that I think that's the movie. That's the pool that movie was filmed in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was because when we got there, you could tell there was like this certain like 80s kind of painting, like a little bit that you recognize, and then you could tell the way the doors were, like where the wave was coming out of.
Yeah,
it looked really familiar to death. Probably one of the most classic movies of all time.
I mean, come on, that's such good heritage right there.
Dude, can we get Aki on or Jerry Lopez talking about the North Shore?
Dude, can we? Come on, call up Aki. Let's do a Zoom. Let's get a 3-way fire up going.
That would be the best. Like, that would probably be the best.
What was it like? You probably did some trips with Aki. He's got footage in this movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, it was just watch his surfing and just get ready to laugh your butt off because it was just comedy 24/7. Just the stuff that would come out of his mouth and just how he would view things. It was just so funny.
And what about Yaden as well? I was tripping because I forgot Yaden was so hot at the moment of Secret Machine. He was like the full up-and-comer and had flaring clips in these movies.
I mean, 100%. He kind of really kept us, he kept us like kind of pushing our surfing, you know, because he was like doing the craziest airs, just wanted to go as high as he could go, as fast as he could go. And it kind of really helped us try to, like, push our surfing. So you kind of always need guys like that to really kind of help push you to not be kind of so... For me, it was like, it really helped me. And he obviously made the movie worth watching.
That's kind of what I was curious about, because, I mean, you growing up with your brother, you had that probably built in where you pushed each other 100% all the time. But who on the Globe team do you feel like was kind of a front runner for pushing your surfing?
Yeah, I kind of think they all were, you know, and I would always try to look like Aki. I was always trying to, like, surf, like, his backside, like the way he would on rights. With you know, Yaden, I would be like, wow, you can actually go that high in the air. And, yeah, so it was really kind of, I was really kind of all in, but probably, like, Dion was definitely a big influence, you know, just because the airs he was doing, and he was goofy foot, so I could relate to him a little better.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all helped. It would be hard to say like one person.
Dion is so interesting because for us growing up, he was, I believe, the first guy to ever do a blog, like DionAgius.tv. I think that was a Globe thing, and he's always felt like he's like must be somewhat a part of these films, like Electric Blue Heaven, when they did that one, was incredible at the pool in Abu Dhabi. So I would imagine like traveling with Dion would be super, super cool, because not only is he surfing rad, but he probably has a creative twist that he's throwing.
Totally, and he was a huge catalyst of like really like almost being like, I guess Joji's like assistant in a way on like kind of helping them see the vision of the film. You know, like that was definitely a role that Dion did that probably a lot of people didn't realize, but he definitely helped steer the film and the feel and the look and how it was shot. He had a lot to say in that. You know, I mean, obviously we talked about I would kind of help with the swell forecasting and kind of where to be and really kind of what guys were going to be on the trip and how a wave could make them shine the best. So I would be kind of more in that aspect, but Dion was heavily into really kind of the whole feel of the film, the music, everything. So I think Dion, never got any much credit there, but he was a huge component in those films, in all those films.
But the recipe is so right. Like, it's so funny. I never really was picking up on how much of a guru on swell charts you are until we did that trip to Pipe, where everything looked good, but it was the weirdest, wonkiest, wildest, like hardest to ride pipe ever. And then you're like, no, there's like it was something like a tertiary swell, like a wind swell from 2 weeks ago that had like cheese grated out. I was like, oh my, black belt level knowledge coming in strong right here. Where'd that start even?
I think it was just more out of a passion of just like really going, maybe like even like maybe borderline like just a geek on like geeking out on like the numbers, the angles, the winds, the tides, and really just, I don't know, just all fascinated me. And it was really fascinating that was like, even with all the knowledge you knew, there would still be always some kind of trick, always something in there that was like no one could see. And then I kind of just realized, even through the help of Joe G, realizing that I had on like calling these certain things. And I don't even know how it happened, but I just realized like, wow, like I'm kind of making the right calls, and I don't even know exactly. There's always this other like kind of factor that you almost can't even put a finger on, and I was like, dude, how did I know that? Even when like not that many people were thinking that, and it was really almost just comes to like this gut feel, like way deep inside, that you just go, nah, dude, this is something. There's something here, you know. And of course, there are a lot of them are theories, you know, that like you kind of go like, this is what I think. But then again, even those theories get messed up over time. So
yeah, but I kind of love the theories too. Like, I loved it. It almost relates to like, you know, whatever, like barrel riding, where you have to feel it. You know, you get that gut instinct, and you're like, I remember you told Pat and I at Chopes that year was real small. You're like, I don't know. I just think it's rad. You gotta chase the gut feeling of what you do, and you know.
Yeah. Not to totally change topics, but I remember with Nathan Fletcher yesterday, and you guys was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about Sonny Miller, right?
't
Yeah, and I was just so stoked on that. And it kind of, when I was watching the movie a little bit, like, you remember the opening scene where they're like picketing? I think CJ's like sleeping, and all of a sudden you see all those people like picketing.
Oh yeah, no, yes.
So yeah, that was like, so we had this stage thing, and we had like Sonny Miller like fully was like, because you know he's like, I mean he was just an unreal guy, but he loved pranks too. So we were like, hey Sonny Miller, we're gonna need some help on marketing this, but we're gonna actually like. So what Joe G did, it was genius. It came off really good. So I don't know if you remember, but how we did it was Sonny like did this big thing, like Globe and Joe G and everyone, they're taking my footage. They totally ripped me off, and they like, and did this, like even wrote a letter to like, we like made this letter to Surfline, and like,
yep.
We had everyone buy into it. And they're like, people were calling up like, dude, I can't believe you did that to Sonny Miller. Dude, that's so gnarly. Like, I can't believe you guys would do that. And we had to straight face. We had to be like, dude, I know, like, and we were all like in this conspiracy together.
That's amazing.
Dude, and people were like, we thought it was like people would figure it out and be kind of like this ha-ha joke. But dude, all of a sudden people were like totally bought into it and we're totally running with it. You know when you like do a practical joke and it almost gets too far and you're like, but you can't get out of it because you're like,
yeah,
you know?
Like here we go.
Like Sonny's calling us like, dude, I'm calling. They want to do interviews with me. Like, what do I do?
Oh my gosh.
And we were like, so we were like, no, we can just like that. In the interview. So, dude, we just started stressing. We're like, dude, maybe we took it too far. Dude, everyone's like freaking. And it was just, and I just told, when like CJ and I just told the guys like, dude, Sonny Miller, just, you don't have to do any interviews. Don't do anything, like whatever, but we got to run with this. We can't turn back now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember specifically at the U.S. Open, there was some weird protest for the premiere or something where there's a bunch of picketers, right?
Yeah. So we hired people. Joe, this is Joe G's brilliance, but and you just gotta laugh. It's so funny. So
you gotta love it.
Was like, we're gonna hire picketers to try to boycott the film, and it's all has to do with like us ripping off Sonny Miller and like. So we were just. I mean, we always had fun with stuff. You know, we never really took it too serious, and that's what I loved about Joe. And it was like, but sometimes our pranks. And that one got a little far. Like, we're like, well, this might have got out of hand a little bit.
Dude, but what about, okay, this is a little off topic, but what about Year Zero? Like, I feel like Joe G brought sort of a visual experience for the watcher every single movie, including Shangri-La, which is like this weird journey sort of, like, I feel like that's the unique point of Joe G is that it's a surf movie at the highest level, but there's also some weird, like, original storyline every time.
Yeah, I mean, that's his real, just kind of genius, just brain, like how that works, how he's able to do that in such like a really kind of, just really cool way. Like I don't even know. But,
what's the cat's name? We should just be addressing it.
He wowed us every single time. And the cool thing about it is we would just be like, even if it was, the cool thing about it is he had so much of everybody's trust that no matter what, Joe was like, dude, standing on your head against that wall over there and do some push-ups because I'm going to do this really cool thing. Like anybody else should be like, heck no, I'm not doing that. You're going to make me look like an idiot. But everyone had so much trust in Joe G that we'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Sounds cool.
I had to bring up a specific scene where you guys are in the car. So I don't know why, but it's Nathan Webster's driving and it's you and CJ's in the back seat, right? And and then you guys are like, let's get out of here. Like, what's going on? And I was thinking, like, out of context, that must have been so hilarious to film, but it looks so incredible in the movie.
That was another one of those things, and like I'm glad you brought up that scene because personally, I think that's funny, really funny, and so we're in Downey. He's out, dude. Guys, drive out to Downey. I want to do this shot. I need a shot for the scene. Drive out to Downey. We're gonna do this stuff. So we drive out there, and he's got this car with the windshield taken off, and it's sit there with like this weird screen in the back. And he's like, okay, Noodles, you're going to be driving. I need you guys, CJ and Damien, jump in the back seat and just start wigging out.
Start wigging out.
This is so weird, but like when you looked at it, like how good it came out was just like super funny.
Well, because there's also one, I think it's in the credits, but it's like you guys are kind of laughing or something. It was like an outtake, and it's like, oh, CJ's crying. Oh my God, we got CJ's crying now. I love that scene.
Yeah, we were just trying to we're not obviously actors, and we were just like, CJ and I were like, let's just take this thing over the top. Let's just see, like, if we just act like Joe G will somehow make it look cool, we just gotta like wig out and do something. So that's kind of what it was.
Dude, I love it. Well, I mean, I guess alternate. I prefaced you before, but I wanted to ask you about when you kind of geared up into the big wave scene. This is kind of not on the topic of the movies. But that wave specifically at Mavs that you pulled in on and then doing the Jaws event, where was the motivation? I mean, coming from a spot of, I know you always were charging, but it seemed like you sort of switched up for that period of time to just go Hellman mode. Was that because you just kind of wanted to learn in that realm?
Yeah, I mean, there was kind of like, when I look back at it, there was definitely like twofold. You know, it was definitely, so one of the parts was like, I always was really fascinated with that. And I was really always like, just always looking at those guys and what they were doing and trying to kind of visualize some lines. And so there was always this kind of, it was kind of this draw that I always had, you know?
But like, who specifically though, Damo? Like who, what kind of guys were you drawing inspiration from? I mean, backside, it's so hard to find that kind of stuff going down at a place like Mavs specifically.
Well, yeah, so I was just kind of drawing that knowledge and really just trying to learn from all the guys. Just really just be like really open to like listen and learn and just kind of, and so that piece of like learning something new and really challenging yourself is really like, is really cool for me. It was like really kind of got me like stoked on surfing again. And then, so that was kind of one part of it. But then the other part, I kind of realized it was almost like this guy that like was like, hey, look, you're not on the world tour anymore. So it was basically like I couldn't get that addiction anymore. Like they kicked me off. I wasn't allowed to go back there anymore. But like, okay, I could go over to the big wave surfing. I could still get that like high from surfing and that kind of high from the performance addiction. We're like, okay, cool. If I do something really cool, people will be like, oh man, that was great. You charge it. Look, you got barreled and Mavs. And so I was like, I kind of was looking at myself. I was like, dude, you're like an addict. You can't let it go. And that was kind of really kind of wake up for me when I was realizing like, wow, like, look, I need to do some soul searching. I really need to like really look at why these motives that I'm doing stuff. Like, am I doing it out of love? Am I going surfing because I love surfing? Am I going surfing because I want something from it? Or someone's gonna say, dude, that was awesome, dude. You just rode that wave great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna like look for that.
Almost like a validation from another person or something.
Exactly. And so, like, when I really kind of saw I was probably doing too much of that, I really kind of just was like, dude, you need to stop. And not stop as in, like, stop doing that, but you need to stop doing it for that reason and going and looking for validation through that. You know, so, which is kind of weird. Like, I mean, it kind of brings me on the topic. It's like, I mean, I was thinking about this, like, so, like, that's kind of gotten stripped from everybody right now. Like,
yeah, that's actually really interesting.
Quarantine, just like, I mean, like, how many times do people go to the beach to kind of like have that release or something, and now that's taken away? Like, most places you can't even go to the beach.
Yeah.
Or like that guy that's like been on like, I don't know, some big job. You know, and he's like puts those deals together and does all this stuff and gets really kind of validation through that. And now it's just said, dude, Pac, you're going home for a month. Like, you like, so not to get too deep, but but one thing
I appreciate that because I feel personally for myself, even just in the realm of stepping away from contest, I had to kind of go on a level of understanding that it was almost like gambling. Like, you never really step away from it just like, oh cool, like I'll step away now because I'm so fulfilled. It's almost like you have to monitor your passion and why you're doing it, and then realizing that then you get like a really good glow of like, I'm doing this because I absolutely love it. But yeah, it's interesting in your spot because you were so revved up, you were on tour for so long, and then to kick out of it and be able to put your energy into the big wave for that time and literally just see how fast that rocketed up, but to know that the motives behind it, I never knew that, actually, to be honest. We didn't really ever catch up on that, and that's rad. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, and really, like, I wanted to fall back in love with surfing, and I realized, like, the only way I'm going to, like, love something is unless I don't want anything in return. Like, if I think it's an exchange, like, if I'm going to go, like, hey, I mean, because when you get paid from it and you get like these things, you end up going to the beach and like, well, what can it offer me today? Like, what can the beach, like, if I go do this, I can video, and then maybe I'll get money, or people will look at a cool barrel and they'll be all stoked. And I kind of realized, like, I was going to the beach for an exchange. And when you, like, that's not love. That's just, to me, I looked at it, I was like, dude, you're selfish and shallow, and, like, you're never going to fall in love with surfing if you look at it as an exchange.
But
so then I kind of had to just change my whole way that I went to the beach.
Sorry to cut in there, but I was just going to say, because I have the perspective of being a Grom, looking up to, obviously, you and your brother, but, like, the way that you guys gave things to the community of surfing, to us, like, it might seem, I guess, in that spot, selfish, like, oh, I'm getting these barrels, I'm traveling and doing that, but it actually echoes forward, I think, and it creates such a responding energy of, dude, I want to do this. Holy cow, did you see Damo's? Like, be it I never paddled into a psycho Chopes one yet, but I know that when I'm in that spot, I'll be replaying all of your guys' waves and being like, oh, let's go. Like, I know what Damo's face would be looking like right now. Like, I want to get in on this thing.
Oh, thanks.
But, I mean, I get it on both sides, because I guess I see myself now on both sides of it. And it is hard to... It's an interesting spot to be a pro surfer, actually.
Yeah, totally. And I think... I thought just for myself is, like, if I... Like... You do your best surfing when you love things, right? Like, you do the, like, there's this freedom, and there's this kind of, like, this thing you can tap into that you almost don't even know, and it's really out of place of love. And so when I realized that, like, because I was just looking at it as, like, a job or an exchange or whatever, like, I was actually, like, hindering my surfing, like, putting, like, shackles on myself. And I could just feel my surfing, like, going down. It was just, like, it wasn't a good feeling. And so I really just had to kind of change that. And change that whole kind of tune. And I think I feel like I've been able to do it. And I actually enjoy surfing, and I love surfing, like, maybe more than I ever have.
Yes. Damo.
You know, because we come in the beginning as, like, this is awesome, I love it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I can't lose it. I got to hold on to it. This is the best life ever. Like, where do we go from here? It's just going to be all downhill. And then we almost, like, choke it out. And we almost, like, choke surfing out. And that's what I did. I just destroyed it, like, for myself. And I really had to learn to, like, get that love back. And I think that's what I love about what you're doing right now, is because watching it not only, like, helps me get that love back, but I think it does it for everybody right now.
I think so. It's that there's definitely connecting on the videos is a thing that it makes you excited to be a surfer. You know, you identify it. We're not surfing right now. Like, we can't even go to the beach, but it's like we still feel that little juice, you know?
Yeah. And so, you know, I think right when you did the first one or two, I kind of, like, was just texted you up, like, dude, keep going. Like, this is what we need. I don't care what anyone's saying right now. Just keep going, you know?
Yes.
So thank you for doing that.
Oh, of course. Hey, thank you for, honestly, the talk and the conversation. If you had one person that I should reach out to and a video, who would that be?
Yeah, that's put me on the spot right there. But, I mean, obviously we talked about it, you know, Jerry Lopez.
Yeah, 5 Summer Stories. What?
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously that would just be, like, just through the roof, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool right now because, like, I was telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, if there is ever a time that you wanted to get a hold of someone and be able to talk to them, it's probably right now. Even the guy that you think no way in heck they're ever going to pick up a call from me or ever want to talk to me, the beauty about it, the time is right now.
That's right.
And so, yeah. Let's shoot the moon. Let's go for Jerry Lopez.
Dude, let's... well, you know what? Dane was already fired up on that idea, too, and I think they're good friends, so standing by. Hey, so Damo, thank you. I guess if we want to just bring it back to Secret Machine real quick before I put it in, like, I super appreciate all your time. What would be like a kind of a outro here before we just kick this thing into high revving gear?
Yeah, I think it's just the theme of the whole movies was just like you're gonna find yourself in these like kind of certain places or predicaments, and you're kind of like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, is this really like a Twilight Zone? You know? And you really just gotta roll with it and laugh with it, and just kind of this is what we're dealt with right now. Like, these are the cards we have, and let's just make the best of it. And who knows? You look back, it might be some of the best times of your life. I don't know. Obviously, the people that are sick, I'm not saying that, dude, that's gnarly. We're definitely praying for those people, but the people that are just, like, still healthy and inside and, like, should make the best of it. And just laugh and enjoy the film and really just not take it too serious, because we never did.
Yes. Dude, this is why we call you Dr. Damo. Like, what was the prescription? Like, I got my order of Stoke. Yeah, you.
Well, you guys do the same for me, so thank you.
You're the man, Damo. Hey, thank you again, brother.
Okay, man. You guys have a great day.
Okay, talk to you soon. You. Yep. That rocked. That absolutely rocked. What about my janky tripod? Okay, you guys. So that was a really cool wrap out with Damo. Super appreciate that. Without further ado, let's get in.